should not be this hard. Yeah, that's gross. And I can't even explain to you how badly these smell. It's freaking disgusting. Let's get on with it. It's pool season again, which means you get to clean the pool. It is every pool owner's favorite thing to do. It takes up a tremendous amount of time, and if you don't do it, it punishes you immediately. And that is where we are at today. It is the end of April here in Arizona. It is a cool, crisp 93 degrees at 1 o'clock in the afternoon, which is when I have time to do this. Even more fun. I would not do it at this time if you could do it in the morning or the evening, but here we are. So a couple of things I'm going to start with. I'm going to ask you forgiveness, although I will be mocked mercilessly, and I understand that. We got this new pool equipment about 2 years ago. You need to clean your filters every 6 months. I've not done it yet at all. We have a dog that swims in the pool. We have many children that swim in the pool. I don't know which one dirties the filter more. Nevertheless, here we are. It's going to be a real experience for all of us, but we're going to get her done. And we're going to do a thorough soaking and a thorough cleansing and see how good we can get these filters. Hopefully they're not destroyed. Hopefully they will be gross, probably full of black hair. Just gross, but we're going to get her done. All right. First thing we're going to do, we're going to release pressure from the tank. Now it's not showing any pressure right now, and it shouldn't be because the system is off, but we're going to get any air or any pressure out before we crack the belt around the outside. So let's try that. You do that by simply lifting up, twisting this over. You can hear the air coming out, and that's what you want. Now these should never be under a tremendous amount of pressure. Nevertheless, you don't ever want to open anything that's pressurized until you can release the pressure. So we're going to wait until the water starts coming out and get all the pressure out. See it's starting to drain from the pump. And that's it. And just close it back up, and on the top you can see it says open with a little arrow. So it's idiot proof for people like me. The next step is taking off this bolt, loosening the belt. Let's get that done. My pool is a Pentair clean and clear system. On my system, this particular nut to loosen it is a 22 millimeter. Now we're going to take the top of the filter off. It should not be this hard, but this is Arizona. The heat melts everything. Like everything gets fused together. So I'm going to do my best to get some pry bars and pop the seal and hope and pray that I don't damage the filter. I suppose this is also a hard lesson on why you need to change it more often so it doesn't have time to get this way. I promise this is the last time this is going to happen. Yeah, that's gross. So the next thing we need to do is take this off here. This kind of holds them all together. A manifold, if you will. I don't know if it's called that, but it sounds good to me. And this here on the top is a breather tube. Ours is absolutely packed full of gunk. You can remove it, and it's going to need some serious cleaning there. It's full of hair and everything else. Oh, this is going to be an adventure. That is disgusting. That's a direct result of me not being a good pool owner and taking care of my pool. It's freaking disgusting. I wonder how often these filters weren't even barely doing anything. Just to be safe, you should turn off the power to make sure that it's not going to go on at all. I'm going to turn it all off because I don't want anything getting turned on. The drain here is the same size as the one on the side, so it's also a 22, and you have a small nut, that's a retainer nut down here that you have to loosen before you can loosen the main drain. And you get some pliers to hold the main one. It's probably fused together in the heat. Let's try this. So that's fun. I have not been able to get these plugs off. They are completely seized on there. And they're stripping when I try to remove them. I'm going to have to get 2 wrenches to unloosen them again. I've already ordered 2 new ones as replacements because I'm not going to put those back on if they're that. I'm going to have to tear them up to get them out. So, this is why you should stay on top of maintenance. Let's get to cleaning out these filters. I got them over here. Sorry, it's a bit breezy out here. I'm using a very low RPM pressure washer with the largest angle on it, a 45-degree angle, so it's going to be very, very little pressure. With the heat out here, the camera's overheat in like 5 minutes, so I'll record as much as I can and we'll get her done. Did I mention that in the heat of the day is the absolute worst time to do this? I don't know if I mentioned that, but it is. But unfortunately, because of my work schedule, this is the only time I have to do this, so it is what it is, because I got to let these soak overnight. Anyhow, went to Home Depot, bought a new nozzle because my pressure washer didn't even have enough pressure, in my opinion. Not that I'm looking to tear things apart. You have to be very careful with the amount of pressure you put on these because they're paper. You don't want to rip them. But you still need enough to get through it and to push it down. So I got this nozzle from Home Depot real quick, and I can't even explain to you how badly these smell. This is just very much a lesson of why you need to maintain your pool. This is freaking disgusting. Let's get on with it. The other thing I'll say is that you want to go from top to bottom, right? Because all the sediment's going to move down towards the bottom. So you're going to push everything down as you're hosing things down, and then I'll probably, depending on if I have time or not, flip them over and do the same thing so it gets a good rinse both sides. And if I can't get a super thorough clean job this round, I'm going to wait till after the summer. I'm going to clean it twice a year before the season starts, which I'm a little bit behind on. And then at the end of the season, as we go into winter, you're supposed to do a soaking with some acid and things of that nature, because it takes all the oils and the stuff that you can't see, so it would look white and clean, but it still could be clogged because of bacteria and oils and stuff like that. So it's good to have chemicals. You can buy chemicals that I saw a lot of the professionals use, and you spray on them. You rinse them off like that, you let them sit in, and then they rinse them off. I'm sure they do that because it's convenient and quick. But those bottles are about $30 a piece, and I would need at least 2 of them to do all 4 of my filters, where I can buy a gallon of I can't even think right now, muriatic acid for $7, $8 at Home Depot, and some detergent for $4. Let them soak in a trash can overnight. If I'm doing it twice a year, that's just the easier way to go. So that's what I'm doing. So that's about a quarter, a half of one side. Obviously going to rotate through, do them all 4. That's going to be boring for you to watch. I'm going to put you away. I'm actually going to put some sunscreen on because I'm going to be out for a while and probably get a chair. All right, we'll see ya. So I just want to do a quick update. I kept wondering why the pressure washer wasn't giving the pressure that it normally does. I've used it before. I was a little curious about that, and then I also realized that the compressor wasn't going on in the pressure washer. So I came over and looked and discovered that I had not plugged it in. So I'm done. Do I have anything on me? Because I kind of felt like I was getting some splashback. No? Okay. I cannot begin to explain to you the torrent of filth that came out of these filters. Now, I have to admit, it was bad. It was my fault. It's completely my fault. I may end up replacing these filters at the beginning of next season, depending on how this all works out. They were bad. They were really bad. Yeah. Nobody to blame but myself, but I certainly know better. I'm prepared now. I got what I need to do. So, as of right now, got them all rinsed out, got them significantly cleaner than what they were. So now, what I am doing is putting them in a bath. Let me show you. I'm currently filling them up with water. I'm about to take this out and put in the muriatic acid. Now just letting this run like this, the water is already filthy. So let's do this. This is muriatic acid for swimming pools from Home Depot. Remember, this is acid, so be sure to wear all your safety equipment necessary. Bought this trash can for this purpose. I was hoping it was going to be tall enough to fit them in, and it is, but there's lips in the back where the wheels go. So these guys aren't going to get a whole 100% bath, but they'll get there. So these are going to soak overnight, just because that's my schedule. That's what has to happen. First thing in the morning, I'm going to rinse them out. I'm actually going to pour the muriatic acid into the pool. Why not? The dirt that was in the filters was already going through the pool anyways. We're going to have clean filters, so it should help clean it out. Not that I want to add more to it. I'm not going to put the debris at the bottom of the trash can into the pool, but just obviously the liquid, because I don't want the acid to go anywhere else. I'm also going to put this trash can in the shade because it is Arizona, and I don't think boiling your filters is the right path to take to get them cleaned. If I'm wrong, somebody let me know. And then in the morning, we're going to rinse them all out again, clean fresh water. We're going to put in some detergent and then let them soak in that while I go to sleep. I work nights. That's why my schedule's so crazy. I'm going to go to sleep. When I wake up in the afternoon, we're going to rinse out the detergent. We're going to rinse out the filters. We're going to clean out everything else and get everything set back up and ready to go if my drain plug arrives, because I got to get that other drain plug out, which seems to be completely melted together. So I'm not sure how I'm going to do that, but that's another adventure for another day. So anyways, I'll check back in with you tomorrow. All right, it's the next morning. Let's check out what we got. The water doesn't look too bad, actually. All right, let's take them out. This is what they look like after being thoroughly rinsed after the muriatic acid bath. I am shocked and surprised at one, how much more dirt came out of them during that rinsing, and two, how white and clean they got. I did not think they would get as clean as they are right now. Very pleasantly surprised. So now they're going into their detergent bath. For the detergent, we're using TSP PF. The PF means phosphate free. This is a 1 pound box, or 16 ounces, 454 grams. Going to put this in there, mix it up thoroughly, and then dump all the filters in there. All right, let's get them out of the detergent bath. Water's quite clear. All right, this is what they look like after being rinsed from the detergent bath. Again, very little dirt and debris coming out of them. Most of the water was clean and clear. We're going to put them in the pool. We're going to run it for a cycle or two and show you the results. So this is what my drain plug looked like. Something I did not know on my particular model, the Pentair. I thought this bottom part was a locking nut. It is not. It is just an area to put a wrench onto, then twist off. Now this one is fine as far as it'll still work. It's a little tore up now because I tried to get a wrench on it and I was trying to twist it opposite direction because I thought it was a locking nut. I did buy a replacement. I think it was like 12 bucks. But if you have a Pentair, that is not a locking nut. It's just an extension of the drain plug. Just FYI. I cleaned off the air filter that goes on the top. It was packed with goo. Here's my new drain plug. I'm also going to use some lube on the O-ring here because in Arizona the heat, everything dries out and gets brittle. If you're in a high heat area and you're using a lubricant for your O-rings, for your rubber, make sure it's a non-petroleum based, because petroleum lubricants can cause it to expand and crack. It's got to be a non-petroleum based. So obviously things like Vaseline and petroleum jelly is not what you would want to use. It'll deteriorate the rubber. So obviously this is plastic on plastic, so don't tighten it too much. You're going to crack your plastic. I just did a little bit of an extra push with the wrench and that was it. Make sure the mating surface of the two halves of your filter are clean and free from debris or dust. It'll keep it from sealing correctly. Make sure your O-ring is clean. I'm going to rinse this off real quick. So the O-ring is not smashed or dented in any way, so it's still good to use. More lube on the O-ring. And again, if your O-ring is seated properly, it's not really it has nothing to do with the seal, right? The O-ring will seal it correctly. It's more about keeping the rubber supple and from drying out. That's all. You're going to want to put that on before you put the top of the filter on. You want to hit the belt with like a hammer, soft hammer, just to make sure it's seated correctly. Sometimes it'll loosen up a little bit. So even though it seems like you've tightened it up, you really haven't. And I'm doing a very light tap on my drill, very, very light. I'm going to finish it off by hand. You don't want to over torque it. We're going to give this a minute to sit. While I'm doing all this, I'm going to clean out the other filters. Okay, so my pumps are self-priming, so I don't have to add water. It actually pulls them in themselves. But if you don't have a self-priming pump, you need to make sure you add water in there before you turn the pump back on. So I've cleaned out all the filters in the skimmer basket. Everything's ready to go. So I'm going to turn the system back on and I'm going to run it through a maintenance cycle, and I'm probably going to do that once or twice today. And then it's set to go automatically overnight, just because when I poured out all the water from the filters soaking and stuff, there's obviously, it's a little bit clouded and things like that, but nothing that shouldn't be cleared up quickly. The other thing I'm going to do right away, as soon as we turn it on, is check for leaks. We're going to check for leaks around the belt, we're going to check for leaks down below, and anywhere else we might find them. The other thing I'm going to do is open the vent to let the air out. You want to let all the air out of the filter so the water can take its place. If you leave the air in there, the water can't replace it. Make sure you let the air out. We have our pressure going. So I have no leaks on the bottom. And as of right now, I have no leaks around the belt. My pressure is good, it's right where it's supposed to be. So I'm going to let this run its cycle and I'll come back and check later. So barring any leaks or anything else, at this point, you're back to cleaning your pool like normal. Just unlike me, make sure you do this every 6 months, every 12 months if you're not often using your pool, it's not heavily used. But if, like me, you've got kids and an animal, make sure that you're doing it at least every 6 months. You saw how bad it was. And let's be honest, I probably shortened the life of my pool equipment. Anytime you have a filter, there's a motor or an engine that's pulling something through that filter, whether it's water, air, fuel, anything. If that filter gets dirty and clogged, then that motor or engine has to work a lot harder to pull that substance through the filter. These filters were completely clogged. The pump in my setup is the motor for this filter. So I hope I didn't damage it. Everything seems to be working fine and was prior to doing this. However, that extra usage may have shortened the life. Like I said, I hope not. We won't know for years. But that's why it's important to change filters on a regular basis. Any filter you have should be changed in your house, your AC filter, in your car, your cabin air, or your air filter for your engine, etc., etc. So, everything seems to be going well. Hope this helped, and if not, hope it was entertaining. All right, guys, thank you. Have a great day.